right, everybody, welcome back. This is me and Gabriel Trap House Gaines going to review my astrological birth chart being read out by the AI. Now, this is a recording, ladies and gentlemen. This is not live. So, thank you for watching. Hit the like button. And I'm not AI, yeah. Good. That's a good point. Yeah. So, like, share, and subscribe. And if you didn't think of it, hit the bell to get notified for every time we go live and when we upload new videos, especially the deep dive. All right. So welcome, Gabriel. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me, man. This should be very interesting.
Yes,
we're both going to learn.
Yeah, it is interesting because it's pretty. It did a deep dive. It's actually a half-hour deep dive into it. So I tell you exactly what I did. So I gave it a prompt that was spawned out of ChatGPT when it came to the birth chart. So I'll just read you the prompt that was given from ChatGPT, right?
Let's go.
Here it is. Prompt. Here it is. You are seasoned with Vedic astrologer and spiritual life and analyst. Analyze this birth chart report in complete detail using the uploaded PDF as your main reference, which was Vedic birth chart, OTW full report, and planetary data chart, which it also gave both those things to make its whole analysis, right? So that being said, summarize each section: planetary position, dasha, navamsha, at makaraka, okay, and career dharma alignment. Okay, explain what each planet placement means specifically for this person. April 13th. See, it doesn't even. It's like it knows it's OTW because I gave it that, but it has no particular bias whatsoever. Okay, so it's April 13th, 1977. At 2 a.m. in the morning, and then it says like my address. So I kind of cut that out, right? Okay, so cross-reference patterns show how the ascendant, sun, moon, and Saturn interact to form key life themes. Provide a timeline interpretation, life phases based on dasha and transits. Identify the soul purpose, karmic lessons, and potential mastery themes. Translate the entire chart into plain language. Include personality, career guidance, love patterns, and spiritual growth path. And then write a summary section. This chart in one sentence. Then write a summary section. This chart in one sentence and practical steps for fulfilling Dharma. And then it says use the tone of a teacher and mystic and a mentor, blend of technical accuracy and intuitive depth. And then it also says avoid cliches, anchor everything into the chart data, speak as if you were teaching the client about their own blueprint. So what do you think of that?
Great. That's a great prompt. I don't see any bias on there either.
All right, so I guess we can just go ahead and start listening to it. So at any given moment, you want me to pause it, just say pause OTW, and you know if you want to chime in.
Got it.
All right.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we have a really unique and I think profound mission. We're taking a specific, quite intricate personal blueprint. It's the birth chart of OTW, born April 13, 1977. And our goal is to translate that ancient wisdom, Vedic astrology, into something modern, actionable. We're really looking at the architecture of a life here.
That's exactly right. We're using this, sophisticated and time-tested framework of Vedic astrology to analyze this very specific structure. This isn't just abstract theory, it's about seeing the actual mechanics of their journey, the karmic lessons they kind of have to master, the natural gifts they possess, and the precise timelines for major life themes. We're connecting identity traits directly to the practical flow of destiny.
Right. Our goal is definitely to move beyond just like simple summaries. We want to understand the core paradoxes maybe, and the spiritual mission that seems to guide this specific life.
Yeah.
And we can jump right in, can't we?
Yeah.
With that initial core snapshot, what does the cosmic signature tell us straight away?
Well, the foundational signature is one of, I'd say, powerful contradictions, but held in a careful balance. So OTW has an Aquarius ascendant, that's the Lanya, which is the lens of personality, how the world sees them. Their core identity, the sun, is deeply compassionate, quite mystical, actually, placed in Pisces.
Okay.
And then their inner emotional self, the moon.
Yeah.
Now the ascendant or the rising sign, that's how you are seen by people when they first meet you a lot of times, like how you may appear, because even though you're an Aries sun sign, Aries is the sun sign is like your core being, I guess, and I would say that the rising sign is the style of Aries, for example, you would be. So you're like an Aquarius. I mean, excuse me, you have that Aquarius way about you of doing things. And when I think of Aquarius, I think of eccentric, an avant-garde, meaning like kind of ahead of your time. And it makes sense that how you work so well with AI, because Aquarius is a lot of times technology, innovations and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and I am a gadget guy. I've been a gadget guy for so long, right? Any gadgets, like even when I was younger, I'd have a watch, right, that I got when oh man, I can't even remember how old I was, but I was in my teens. And I got this watch. It was like $100 watch, and I worked really hard to get it because it was a remote control. It could remote control anything, like TVs, VCRs, even stereo systems. It was wild what the watch could actually do. I could control volume, turn the TV off. It was an absolutely crazy invention. But what ended up happening is I was a little bit devious, and I went into video shops and played with their TVs, and I had fun with that. I walked into Blockbuster, and I would change the channel or play with the volume while I'm looking for a movie I want to watch tonight, And, the clerks are going nuts, thinking that they have ghosts in the place or something. It was just funny.
Did you do it? I mean, you made that gadget?
No, I bought it. It was in a consumer's. We had what was it called? The consumer's place. It had a magazine that you could order.
Yes, the catalogs. And you go in there and
so, my mom had that catalog, right? And then I went through the catalog, and then I looked at the watches, and that was like in the catalog a remote control watch for TVs and shit. So I kind of I scrounged up enough money to buy it for myself, and I actually own my own remote control. They don't even make those anymore. Imagine that.
Oh man, if they did, I'm doing it on somebody's laptop.
It was wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you had to point the watch at the object that you had, like it was just like a remote control. It was like that.
Yeah. That's so cool. I have to say though, with the Aquarius rising, one heads up about would be like about sometimes the Aquarius is like the people's champ, right? And a theme you keep hearing me say is like, to truly know a sign, you have to know the opposite sign, because they go hand in hand, right? In a weird way. And the opposite sign of Aquarius is the Leo, the king, while the Aquarius is more of the people, right? They both need each other, right? The king needs the people, and the people need the king. And so I would say sometimes I could see this in the broadcast. Sometimes your broadcast where maybe there's sometimes that you may not even want to might not be as interested as the audience, but because you want to make sure the audience get what they need, you'll go with what the audience wants sometimes over what you want sometimes.
Yeah, that happens often, and it's funny that you say Leo, because Leo is my life partner right now that I'm with.
Wow.
Yeah, she's a Leo.
That's a good balance right there. Yeah.
So, all right, so I'll continue the clip. Well, the audio clip. Yeah.
Actually placed in Pisces. And then their inner emotional self, the moon, seeks balance and high ideals in Libra. So this triad, right away, it signals a life dedicated to humanitarian vision, driven by this deep spiritual empathy and channeled through a need for fairness, idealism, and, structural reform. It's kind of the meeting point of the rebel and the mystic.
Okay, let's start unpacking that primary filter then.
Yeah.
The ascendant, the Lagna, and Aquarius Kumpha. For anyone listening who might be less familiar, the Lagna defines the character, appearance, the whole trajectory of the physical life, right? So what does this fixed air sign immediately tell us about OTW's inherent approach to the world?
Right. The Aquarius ascendant identifies OTW as inherently visionary, innovative, and a relentless seeker of truth. Aquarians are often seen as a little detached, perhaps, but it's not coldness. It's more like the necessary objective distance you need to lead humanitarian efforts or, enact reform. They're focused on universal ideals, on community, on the future, often feel a step ahead of their peers. They are the social reformers of the zodiac, really.
That paints a broad picture. But Vedic analysis, it goes deeper, doesn't it? Into these subtle energy fields, the nakshatras, the lunar mansions. The ascendant here falls in Dhanishta nakshatra. First, maybe briefly, what is a nakshatra and why is the nasta important here?
Okay, so a nakshatra is a lunar mansion. Think of it as a smaller, finer division of the zodiac. There are 27 of them. And they pinpoint the subtle energy influencing whatever planet or point is placed there. Dhanishta is critical because its theme is strongly tied to fame, success, wealth, often connected to sound, rhythm, structural brilliance. So when the Lagna, the ascendant, falls in Dhanishta, it means the personal identity itself is kind of destined for prominence. OTW has this innate ability to command attention, influence others, often through a structured, maybe rhythmic message. Whether that's writing, teaching, public speaking, the identity carries that energy of leadership and success.
Wow. Okay. So a visionary core already geared.
Can't stop watching.
Well, you see, that's the thing. That's why I pretty much, that's when it said that, I said, well, shit, I'm exactly in the right place. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Then it's pretty much confirming that, right? That me being on YouTube is like the right place for me right at this particular moment in my journey, doing what I'm doing, expressing all of that creativity and innovativeness. And this is probably my learning platform for something even greater. Maybe I'll become some sort of politician or professor. Who knows what the fuck I'm going to become out of all of this, right?
Right. The rhythm will always be there, though.
It's like, who knows who I'll be in 10 years from now, right? It's like when I'm going to be 58, who knows what I'll be doing?
Yeah, it's starting here, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And it even says it. The timeline is between 2024 and 2036. And it's funny because I started streaming in 2023.
2024. Okay.
2024? No, 2023.
Yeah.
2023, 2024, and this is my third year. 2025. Yeah. We've been live 3 years now.
Yeah.
So I've started in 2023, or I started videos long before that, but when I started really doing live streams,
that's a whole nother level, huh? OTW. It's performance. It's live lectures. It's like
it's a lot. And I didn't have much today. Yeah. During our live stream, this is the recording, people. I was live today.
Well, yeah.
So if you guys want to go check out the live stream, we pretty much reviewed it with other panelists. But I really much more appreciate Gabe being here right now because he has the Western side of astrology. So to see both perspectives is even more interesting than the review that we did live today. Right. And today is, we're saying it's the 15th of October, 2025. So if I put this out in a week, you'll know what day I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yes, sir. In the month of Libra.
Yeah. All right. So, that's why I really appreciate the fact that you're here right now. To give your perspective.
Yeah.
So are you aware of those particular details that they were mentioning there? These 27 nodes or whatever they're called?
Yeah, I actually heard Himza talk about it yesterday. Himza Alexander is the resident Vedic expert over here in this sector.
Oh, cool.
She's taught me some things or showed me some things, and that's a great thing about Vedic. It's very detailed and nuanced, whereas the Western is more of a kind of like a zoomed out perspective.
Okay, it's more of a general.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I believe that it's all connected, right?
I agree.
It's all connected. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's always different types of parameters, laid out. So it's like it's interesting to see all of the different angles. That's how I learn. It's like I don't take everything just from one source. I'll take it from like I did it Vedic because it asked me. First of all, it says you want it Western or Vedic, and I said Vedic because I already know Western. Like pretty much that's how I live. This is how we operate. This is like the only astrology that we've ever experienced. So I want to hear more about the Vedic side of it. Something that I don't.
You can overlay it on your. Because you can actually overlay it on your Western chart. That's what I do. The little I know about Vedic, I overlay it on my Western, and it's like, well, this gives me another like thing arsenal. Basically.
You're right. Well, that's a good idea. I should have it come up with the Western version, and then have it make its determination.
It.
Yeah,
that's
either
next
fuse
level,
it
dude.
or make its point out also the contradictions between them.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you get an even better, like with a magnifying glass view of what the hell it's all. Oh man, it's like
that's dope at OTW. That's that's the innovation of the doing things. Like I said, the rising sign, which is yours is Aquarius, which is innovator. You know,
right. But imagine I could do this for other people.
Yes, sir.
Right, you guys out there, if you really, I can fine tune this for it to be completely, absolutely, like ultra detailed. I mean, mine, I just did imagine the Vedic astrology, and it gave a 30-minute, breakdown. So imagine if you have like the Vedic one, the Western one, you have about an hour breakdown of who and what you are and what you're all about when it comes to astrology in that perspective, right? It's not psychological, it's not, it's not philosophical, it's astrological. So it's a completely different realm, but all connected, like you said, right?
All connected, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
We're all made of stars.
Let me carry on.
Geared towards fame and influence. Let's then unpack this with the core drivers, the sun and the moon. Where does OTW find their sense of self-worth, their deepest compassion?
Okay, so the sun is in Pisces, and it's placed in the second house. Remember, the sun is the soul's light, right? And the second house governs fundamental values, speech, accumulated wealth, family legacy. Having the sun here dictates a highly spiritual, often artistic approach to wealth and self-worth. Their identity is inherently fluid, compassionate, empathetic, sort of detached from pure materialism. This is someone whose self-esteem really rises from their emotional and spiritual richness, maybe not so much their bank account,
And the sun is at a very high degree, isn't it? Near 29 degrees Pisces in Ravati Nakshatra.
Close to Aries.
In Vedic terms, those final degrees, they carry a special weight, right? What does that placement signify?
Exactly. The 29th degree of Pisces is the very last degree of the entire zodiac cycle. It signifies culmination, spiritual maturity. It often suggests a soul that has, sort of completed the syllabus in previous lives. And Ravati, the nakshatra itself, is associated with innate compassion, service, spiritual seeking. So this placement makes their spiritual identity and empathy extremely mature. They possess this deep, natural wisdom, often serve as a compassionate guide for others, almost instinctively understanding the suffering of the world.
That profound depth,
Can you pause it right
it contrasts really beautifully with the need for...
Because your sun sign... which is your core, being in Pisces, which is the last sign, and we could say Pisces is made up of all the signs, right? All the signs. So it's kind of like you've been there, done that, old soul, right? And and not only is it the last sign, OTW, but it's on the 29th degree, and all these signs go to 29 degrees. So you're like at the very, 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 very end.
Wow.
Your core, yes.
Shit, I'm like, my next step is godhood, people. So I'm going to be stepping into the kingdom, people. Woohoo! That's going to be great. Oh, what a dopamine rush.
Right. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, this is good stuff.
Positioned in the ninth house.
Yeah, this is a really stabilizing and elevating placement for the emotional life. The ninth house is the house of Dharma purpose, philosophy, higher knowledge, global vision. So emotional fulfillment for OKW comes through seeking fairness, balance, high ideals. They're emotionally invested in truth and harmony, often seeking wisdom through mentorship, maybe travel, or dedication to philosophical belief systems. And the moon is in Swati Nakshatra. It's symbolized by a solitary blade of grass moving with the wind. This adds a crucial layer of independence, adaptability, and the pursuit of a harmonious ideal, even if it requires movement or change.
Okay, so if we put that together, we have this freedom-seeking, visionary Aquarian mind.
Right.
Fueled by this innate, mature compassion from the Pisces sun, and seeking emotional satisfaction through wisdom and fairness, that's the Libra moon. But their personal presence, you mentioned, is magnified by a planetary grouping.
Yes, exactly. The Aquarian stellium. We have two inner planets, Mercury and Venus, sitting right there in the Lagna, the first house, both in Aquarius. This dramatically amps up the Aquarian energy in their personal presence, how they come across.
Okay, let's break down that intellectual power first. Mercury in the first house.
Mercury there ensures OTW is an inventive, quick-witted communicator, a visionary thinker. The intellect naturally bridges reason and intuition, so they can conceptualize extremely complex, future-oriented ideas and then articulate them effectively to a broader audience. They kind of speak the language of tomorrow.
And Venus. What's the impact of Venus in that same very visible first house?
Well, Venus in the first house grants intrinsic charisma, beauty, magnetism. And in Aquarius, this provides a unique, often unconventional, maybe futuristic view of love, aesthetics, relationships. OTW attracts attention not just for their intellect, but for their independent and uniquely charming demeanor. This placement really enhances their personal magnetism, makes them a very visible and, frankly, attractive figure for leadership roles.
Okay, that identity foundation is one of immense inspiration and charisma, but every chart has its anchor, right? The great challenge designed to bring structure, discipline to the gifts. So now we move into section 2, the karmic axis.
Hold on, okay, please.
Yeah.
So your first house is, like we said earlier, it's a rising sign, basically, or how you appear to people first, right? Literally your appearance. Now, it said that you have Mercury in the first house. Now, Mercury is the planet of communication and thinking, right? Yeah. So if you have it in your first house, that's very telling of someone who is quick thinking, and also it's like you get things quick. Whereas someone that may have like a Mercury in a farther along planet, a house, but you have it in the first house. And look at Mercury; it represents thinking because it goes around the sun. It's the closest planet to the sun, so it's very quick. The orbit doesn't take a long time, right?
In other words, the Flash represents the god, the Greek god of messenger, the messenger of the
messenger,
gods.
Hermes. Yes, but Mercury, yeah. And you also have Venus in the first house too. So maybe this is why you like the aesthetics. You think about like aesthetics, and Venus is not just beauty, but it's also the arts. And could be seen music. Music is always on your mind, I bet, right?
Well, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it does identify the artistic angle to it too, and it towards the end. But I don't want to put the horse before the chariot, right?
Yeah,
I want to let it play out. It's like, in other words, I don't want to give the punch.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Those deep-seated drives.
Exactly. Here's where we shift from the gifts to the crucial challenge. And we look immediately to Saturn, the great karmic teacher. It's placed in Leo and residing in the 7th house. This single placement really defines the necessary structure for maturity and leadership in their life.
Saturn in the 7th house. That's the house of long-term partnership, marriage, public dealings. Mm-hmm. Now, you've described OTW as someone focused on freedom, that's Aquarius, and ideals, that's Libra. What does Saturn, the planet of restriction and commitment, demand in their partnerships?
It demands structure, commitment, and immense maturity. Partnerships for them are not light or casual. They are serious, life-defining commitments. The lessons here revolve around loyalty, responsibility, and the patient building of a stable, shared life. And Saturn, being in Leo, a royal, fiery sign of creativity and self-expression, means this karmic responsibility is linked directly to creative output and the structure of self-expression within a partnership. The relationship itself must be a place where both individuals can, radiate, that's the Leo part, but only within defined, responsible boundaries. That's Saturn.
And specifically, Saturn is in Purva Falguni Nakshatra. How does that subtle energy shape this relationship lesson?
Purva Falguni is the constellation of creative enjoyment, rest, pleasure. Saturn's presence there means that the path toward true creative expression and, pleasure in relationships is earned. Earned through disciplined effort and sticking to high ethical standards. It's not about instant gratification. It's about building a beautiful, lasting legacy through the partnership.
Okay, and beyond just the 7th house, we need to talk about Saturn's influence across the whole life. Right? In Vedic astrology, Saturn's gaze, its drishti, is known to be powerful, demanding. Which houses does Saturn aspect?
Just real quick. The 7th house is something you'll hear a lot. The 7th house is that Libra house, the partnerships, right?
Okay.
And your partnerships seem to be with the Saturn there. If you're going to partner up with someone, they have to have discipline and maturity. Saturn is like the grandfather. They teach you lessons, right? Yeah. So, and it's also they said it's in the house the something about Leo, like creativity, right? So your creative enterprises have to have, most likely to work for you, have to have structure and discipline, and when you're working with somebody, they have to be under the same umbrella, or it's not going to work.
Agreed. Yeah, you're right, and that's pretty much why I guess Paul and I resonate very well, and I guess you and I, because I guess we both all have like that particular sense of structure, I guess, or we see things from that angle, I guess. And I can tolerate other beings, obviously, but it's not the same thing. It doesn't mean that I tolerate you, that I'll establish a long-term endeavor, or relationship. Right.
Yeah, because you're that Venus in the first house, how you kind of meet people, it softens things out because Venus is beauty or whatever. So normally when someone would say fuck you do it like in a graceful way, that if the person can't pick up cues, they're going to be like, I wonder why he doesn't want to work with me. When in
I
fact,
just like step out gracefully and I end the dance with like a disappearing act.
Now you see me, now you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which houses does Saturn aspect, and what kind of work does it impose on those areas?
Oh, Saturn's full gaze absolutely shapes the entire destiny. It demands effort and discipline across the most vital sectors of life. It aspects 3 key houses. First, the first house, self. It aspects the Aquarius Lagna directly. This requires patient, slow, structural building of the self and identity. The vision has to be manifested over time, with patience. This ensures OTW doesn't just rush into radical change, but commits to a disciplined evolution.
Okay, slow and steady wins the race for identity building.
Exactly. Second, the fourth house, home roots. It requires structuring and stabilizing the emotional foundation in home life. Saturn here demands hard work to achieve emotional security and internal peace. Roots need effort.
Right. And the third?
Third, the 10th house, career public life. This is crucial. It ensures that long-term destiny and public success are achieved only through relentless, disciplined effort. Saturn is the architect of their professional life. The career must be built on integrity and endurance. Everything has to be built to last. No shortcuts.
Wow. So Saturn acts like this constant, heavy gravitational pull towards responsibility. Really
Yeah, that's wild, because that's literally explaining my journey here on YouTube, right? How I'm in my 3rd year, and it's a slow growth, but slow and steady wins the race, and Saturn seems to appreciate it more when things are done correctly. So I guess I'm also on this learning process that's going to help me evolve to become who and what I'm meant to be. I guess out in these spaces here on YouTube and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. Saturn teaches you lessons through delaying gratification to make sure you learn the lesson. Right. It doesn't give it to you all at once. You have to make sure you're battle tested and worthy. Right.
That's how it feels, man. That literally exactly how it feels. Like, as if Saturn is always pushing back. Yeah, I agree.
You can love it. You can learn to love it. The people that don't know it, they look at it as, this grumpy old grandpa, Saturn. But no, he's trying to take care of you. But it's like tough love. But it pays off. Saturn is also status. If you learn the lessons, you will be rewarded with status, or people, or attention, in terms of people looking at your art and your education and whatnot. So
right,
and it's happening. You're chipping away. It takes Saturn 27 years to go around the sun one time. So it likes to take its time.
Right. So that's why he's called Father Time.
Right. Exactly.
Wow. It's like, hey, 29 years for a full cycle. Holy crap.
Yes.
He really sticks around for a while, man, in your life. Like, if you live 60 years, well, he would have outlived you by 2 years in those 2 cycles. Yeah.
We have our Saturn return coming up, I guess, when we're 52. What's 27 times 2? So
it's 54.
Yeah, so when we're like 54, 7 years from now, that's when our second Saturn returns. Think about what you were doing when you were 27, 29, around that age. because some people don't make it through it. But when you do make it through, that means you accomplish something. You know,
I can't remember what was I doing at that age. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, I was roofing back then.
Yeah.
Oh, and I was so freaking, I was the boss. And, I was the one actually getting the jobs, working the jobs, hiring the people to do the jobs, getting the material. I did it all, man. So, did it for 10 years.
Yeah. You were rewarded for your hard work, Saturn. Yeah.
Awesome.
Really stabilizing that otherwise light, free-flowing Aquarian energy. Let's shift now to another major axis, destiny and desire. The Rahu Ketu placements. We have Rahu in Virgo in the 8th house, and its counterpoint Ketu in Pisces in the 2nd house.
Yes, this is the material versus mystical axis, and it energizes a profound transformation throughout life. Rahu represents our future obsession, our desires, where we're heading karmically. Ketu represents past life knowledge and necessary detachment, what we bring in. This life is intensely pulling OTW toward deep transformational experiences and hidden knowledge.
Rahu in the 8th house.
Yeah.
That's the house of transformation, hidden knowledge, research, shared power, even crisis.
Occult.
What is OTW obsessively drawn?
8th house is occult, transformation, sexual stuff, shared resources,
Okay.
inheritances, and you have Virgo there in the 8th house. Think Virgo as the day-to-day lessons. While Saturn teaches you the long lessons, Virgo will teach you the day-to-day lessons, getting better and better, like building on things. Yeah.
Wow, man, I love this stuff, man. It's
really cool.
This is a particular area that I didn't really dab into that much, but I should have along my journey since my awakening. But I guess I got involved with so many other things that it just like I put it on the shelf for a later time, and I guess that time is now.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm learning, dude. That's why I like to speak with people I know their chart, because I learn from it on a selfish level, but also I can give them like another set of eyes to look at them, so they can maybe see some blind spots or acknowledge some good things. Yeah.
Well, thank you for that, man.
You're welcome. Thank you for allowing me to help you, share with you.
Oh, it's great, man. I'm gonna upload this, and it's gonna be a great stream. Like, finally, we're gonna be able to focus on just one topic. And really like home it in, right?
Yeah, LTW. I see these offline videos and in the private live stream. That's something that's going to be incorporated into the live streams, because you get, like you said, you get to really focus on these ones right here.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. This guy, I think I'm going to do more of these.
They're cool.
Yeah, right.
Power, even crisis. What is OTW obsessively drawn towards that?
Rahu, the north node of desire, in the 8th house, creates this magnetic pull towards mystery, research, depth psychology, esoteric wisdom, handling large transformative energies, whether that's institutional resources, hidden truths, or the mechanics of crisis and healing. OTW will be drawn to analytical deep dives, uncovering what's concealed beneath the surface, and Rahu is placed in Hasta Nakshatra. This specifically grants manifestation power through skilled, hands-on application and mastery of craft, particularly in these deep analytical fields. They can actually materialize findings from the abyss, bring them into form.
Okay, now let's address the paradox I'm starting to see here. Ketu, the south node, represents detachment. It's placed in the 2nd house, which is all about tangible wealth, speech, resources. How does that past life energy manifest?
Ketu in the 2nd house, especially in Pisces, really reinforces the spiritual theme we saw with the sun. It suggests an innate detachment from material accumulation and a legacy of deep mystical insight. They likely already possess wisdom regarding spiritual and monetary values, and they may struggle with purely material pursuits because, well, the soul doesn't really feel the need for them. The internal focus is on intuitive, spiritual service, often finding comfort in what they already know, that deep inner knowing.
Wait a minute, though. This feels like a crucial conflict. You've described someone destined for public leadership, even fame, Dhanista, and structured visible teaching, Saturn's 10th aspect, Venus in the 1st. Yet their deep obsession is hidden transformation, Rahu 8th, and their innate comfort zone is detachment from material resources, Ketu 2nd. How do those two powerful forces, public ambition and private hidden mysticism, coexist without creating, severe internal stress?
Well, that tension is the engine of this chart. The stress, if you want to call it that, comes from balancing the need to be seen, to be out there. That's the Aquarius Venus 1st house energy, with the compelling desire to go deep and withdraw. That's the Rahu 8th Ketu 2nd pole. The solution lies in making the private wisdom public, but in a structured, transformative way. OTW must utilize their analytical hidden research from the 8th house to build the visible, ethical structures that Saturn demands in the 7th and aspects onto the 10th, structures that they then teach about. The transformation they seek isn't just personal, it's meant for their network, their community. They become the messenger who translates hidden truth into tangible reform.
Pause it,
Okay,
pause it.
that
Please.
Oh,
This is what we're doing right here. We're making it very structured, and then you're going to bring it out to the community
right,
after,
and
so they can
think
learn.
as well how I translate the Bible and how I see
Right.
the way the Bible is, I think, is supposed to be read, right? And how I
Right.
make the correlations to our actual biological body, which is a scientific thing, right? Which is not actually a somewhere that, it's like not fairy tales. It's not angels coming into clouds. It's not none of that. It's actually you. It's actually us. The
Yep.
whole map of the human body is embedded in the Bible.
Yeah.
And that's
this
from
is
my
the,
perspective. That's what I've understood, and funny enough, I never even heard of Manly P. Hall before actually accumulating this knowledge. So when I discovered Manly P. Hall, it just confirmed what I was leading up to anyway in the first place,
Yeah.
right?
He's speaking your language because under this Vedic astrology, your sun sign, your core is Pisces, spiritual, one of the most spiritual signs, ephemeral signs, and Manly P. Hall is a Pisces. This is why he's sun sign. This is why, like, Manly P. Hall is just on the spiritual tip that he can just freestyle or gets downloads of, like, from the ethers or whatnot. I mean, that's why you resonate with it.
Wow,
Yeah.
I never seen it that way. That's amazing.
And in terms of your interpretations of the Bible, I would say like the Virgo can represent in particular the nervous system and anatomy and all the other internal organs. So, and if you overlay that with what they said that's in your 8th house, and the 8th house is uncovering hidden knowledge. So you're taking the
Right.
surface level Bible narratives, which some may say that, hey, they could have happened, right? However, you're going a step deeper, the deeper layer, and seeing how it corresponds with the Bible. That's occult knowledge, taking the 8th house, taking the hidden knowledge and making it visible by digging it out and whatnot.
Yeah, and it's funny because you see, it's actually rooted and written in the stars that's what I'm supposed to do, and that's what I'm doing. And there's still pushback on it. Can you believe that? It's like
No, it doesn't make sense because of the Aquarian, your rising sign, like how you do things is Aquarius, and a lot of times Aquarians are ahead of their time, so much so that the people in their current time don't get what they're saying. A lot of time, the 85%, the masses, the deaf, dumb, and blind, they don't understand because it's such a new thing that you're pulling out of the ethers, right? It's only a matter of time. It'll become. Oh, they'll get it, but this is why you get pushback a lot of times. What you did.
oh, well, see, thank you for explaining that, because I always ask myself, it's like, why? I was like, well, maybe it's because I think, I'm simple-minded that way when I'm thinking to myself, well, isn't it obvious? Like,
Yeah. For
can't
you,
you guys
yeah.
just see it? It's just like pretty obvious, right?
It takes time, man. When you're
Yeah.
when you're like pulling stuff out of the air, like from the ethers, new innovations, people aren't going to understand it. Let me give you an example. The musician that passed away today, D'Angelo,
Right.
he invented neo soul, like this new form of music, right? But when he became onto the scene, he was during the like late 1990s, early 2000s. This was the boy band Britney Spears time, and he was making music that wasn't like the old R&B we're used to. It was like this new fusion, but people didn't get it. It took a couple years for them to finally get it, and he ended up becoming one of the most celebrated R&B musicians in the last 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, you should.
He's
do a
Aquarian.
set-
He
you
was an
should do a
Aquarian.
whole- Hey, I would suggest, Gabe, that you do like you did with the
Bodybuilder Craig Munson, huh?
yeah, you should do that with with that artist, man. For sure.
I think that's a great idea.
Oh yeah, that would be fantastic.
'Cause I
I'm
think
sure.
I really think you would get something out of it, a show like that. But not only that, like I want to show you his music because I want to ask you questions. Because
Yeah, sure.
not to get off on a tangent real quick, he was raised in the Pentecostal church, and you see it in his music because he started playing the organ. He taught himself how to play the piano by ear at 3, and he would play the organ, like the church organ.
Yeah.
and you can hear it in his songs as he grew older. It's very cool, you know.
Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pretty much taught myself how to play because my father, when he handed me the guitar, he didn't teach me how to play. He said, "Look at me and listen and do what I do." That's what he said.
Wow.
That was that's the first lesson he gave me. It was the only one I ever had, and that's that.
The catalyst.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
You just get it too, because of that Mercury. You get things quick.
Yeah, you're right. I even understood like the neck. Well, it took me years. Yeah, it took me years though. But at one point, I woke up one morning and it was like my brain had rearranged itself to now completely understand every single pattern on the neck. I woke up one morning. I says, "God, I know it. I know it all." I was like, "Wow."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I could literally see all the patterns in my mind. I was like, I knew where everything was.
Yeah,
so like
that takes it to the next level. That's like using like a scalpel, like a surgeon. The neck part, right? You can get the nuances and the detail of the sound. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I'm not even like when it comes to playing, I'm not even that technical, right? There's half technique and half emotion. So that's what creates the music I play. Yeah.
Sounds like it comes alive.
Yeah, because there's a particular patterns that I wasn't necessarily interested in learning. It's like I learned like maybe 3 or 4 different patterns and I said, that's enough for me. That's all I need. I don't need to know 20 different patterns, even though there are that many, right?
Yeah, because those 4 patterns, you can go deep in the nuances and create stuff just off that.
Absolutely.
That's astrology too, OTW. That's why I encourage folks and yourself that as long as you know the foundations, like the planets and what they mean and the signs, and the elements, those 3 things, you're good. You can go on. It can take you pretty far. Yeah. Yeah.
And actually, I'm going to tell you one thing. Through this AI analysis that I was able to produce, I'm learning shit from it because now it's actually helping me focus more on what I was meant to be doing, right? Because it was kind of ambiguous until this reading.
It's like it's the real deal, man.
Yeah, so astrologically speaking, I'm aligned with my mission. I'm aligned with what my purpose is, which reinforces it all, right? It's like fuck yeah.
Universe said yes to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to continue playing it.
Okay.
And then the core challenge is integrating that free, inspired flow of the Aquarian Pisces energy with the rigid, demanding discipline of Saturn. They have to embody this messenger builder archetype.
Exactly. Now let's look at Mars and Jupiter. These are the forces dictating how energy is actually expended, how action happens, and how wisdom is amplified. The practical planets, you could say.
Right. Let's start with Mars. Planet of action, courage, willpower. It's in Taurus, placed in the 4th house. What does that tell us?
Mars is typically fast, aggressive, fiery, but placing it in earthy, fixed Taurus slows it down, grounds it, makes it incredibly persistent. This means OTW's drive is practical, very persistent, and aimed specifically at protecting home, roots, family, and personal values. Those are the 4th house themes. While this grants immense endurance and stamina, it can also manifest as incredibly strong, sometimes immovable, maybe even stubborn willpower. When they commit to a belief or a foundation, they will fight for it with unwavering determination. This, Mars, ensures their base is solid, which actually allows the visionary Lanya to operate more safely.
So it sounds less like a quick spark of courage and more like an immovable architectural foundation itself.
Exactly. It's the enduring willpower required to withstand the pressure of Saturn's demands, which we saw aspecting that 4th house. They build their emotional life slowly, deliberately, but once it's built, it's unshakable.
Okay, then we have Jupiter.
Right. Okay. Here
the great benefical representing expansion.
Yeah. So you have the Mars. Think of Mars, the planet you go to war with, but it also is where you get your energy and vitality from, right? Okay. Also, sexually, how you express that. But let's just start with the energy. How you get your energy, and it's in your 4th house, dude. 4th house is your home and family, and that makes sense. How you get your power in your studio at home. When you're talking to your like Becky and your grandkids and stuff, it's like you can see how you get power off that in a good way, right? And having Taurus there. Taurus is the stud of the zodiac, strong bull that's slow and steady, but once it takes a minute for it to get going, but once it starts getting going, it cannot be stopped.
It's an
and you just
unstoppable force.
produce. This is why you're prolific in all your your content, everything you produce. That's Taurus, man. The producers of the zodiac.
Wow. So that explains all these channels.
There you go. Yeah. And all the videos. And
yeah, the critique.
lives, yeah.
This new
Stamina,
channel I
man.
started. It's called Out of This World. Go check it out. I'll be leaving links to these channels in the description. Also, I'll be leaving a link to Gabriel's Trap House Games, a.k.a. NPC The Games.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll be leaving that in the description. So go check out NPC. He's got awesome content. Very informative. Also has open panels at times. So go check him out. And
Yes, sir.
let's carry on with the show.
This is a phenomenal setup for communication, mentorship, teaching. Just fantastic. The third house rules expression, short travels, skills, communication mediums. Jupiter in the fiery, pioneering sign of Aries creates a bold, confident communicator with immense teacher energy. Their message is expansive, courageous, driven by deep conviction. They are naturally inclined to motivate, maybe publish, lead through their voice and written word. The third house Jupiter ensures the message is direct, optimistic, and truly inspiring.
And like Saturn, Jupiter casts its gaze, its aspects. How does Jupiter inject opportunity into OTW's life? Where does it expand things?
Jupiter's gaze essentially blesses and expands opportunity into the three crucial houses it aspects. First, the seventh house, relationships. Jupiter balances Saturn's seriousness here. It injects optimism, wisdom, and opportunity into partnerships. This suggests that OTW will likely meet partners who are wise, philosophical, and help uplift them. It softens the Saturnian burden.
That's a nice counterpoint.
It is.
That's funny because, Paul, TML, Gabriel, yeah, we can go on.
Strong connections, man. Because the third house, they said your Jupiter's in your third house. Third house is, consider them like your neighbors and also brothers and sisters, siblings, right?
Right.
And are good friends, right? And that is where you shine. And Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system, right? So that's why it represents expansion and luck. And more importantly, what you're good at naturally. And yours is in Aries. So think of all the Aries things. When I think of Aries, I think of you're like the yogis and warriors of the zodiac. So active and stuff.
Right.
That's probably why you're still in pretty good shape compared to probably other people, your peers that are around your same age.
Yeah, I've
and
mentioned
stuff.
that lately to someone saying, Jesus, like...
It's natural for you. Huh?
I think I was saying that to my companion. I say, who do you know that's my age that's fit like me? Mm-hmm. And I was being kind of like, pretentious about it, right? Mm-hmm. But it's just true. I was just mentioning the truth. And she looks at me, she goes, I go, yep. And she's also 10 years younger than me.
Well, go ahead, OTW. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Little lioness.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Tell me about it, man. She's got the mane and everything.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
He's blessed.
This suggests that OTW will likely meet partners who are wise, philosophical, and help uplift them. It softens the Saturnian burden.
That's a nice counterpoint.
It is. Second, the ninth house, philosophy beliefs. This
Not just that. They're very challenging. I like, when they challenge. It's like it's don't want a woman that's completely docile and submissive. That's not. I want my beliefs to be challenged so I can. It helps me upgrade.
Get stronger.
Of course.
And you know what else too? Every sign is what is with another sign or another planet. It's either exalted, meaning it's in a good spot, or it's in an unfavored spot, right? And Aries and Leo are a very good connection. Very good connection. Leo is actually exalted with Aries, so that's a good match. It's very powerful. A lot of fire right there. Seeing through the bullshit, because fire sees through reality that's fake.
Right, and it probably why she is with me, because she sees that I see right through freaking like the veil,
Right.
I see things for what they really are, even though she's kind of like it's still half,
Yeah.
right?
She's
But
still
that's
learning.
all right for me, because at least she sees both sides of the coin and she can make her own choices.
Keeps you honest too.
Yeah, exactly.
Keeps you plugged in.
Yeah.
placement amplifies the philosophical drive we already saw with the Libra moon. Jupiter ensures constant access to higher knowledge, mentors, and a broad global vision. Learning and belief systems are always expanding.
And the third aspect.
The 11th house, networks gains. This aspect ensures that OTW's teaching, communication efforts, and networking ultimately lead to broad, tangible gains. Community success.
Hey, isn't that an odd coincidence? Trap house gains?
Yeah, that's it, man. Gains, leveling up, man.
Yeah.
All aspects. See?
I love it.
It is written.
Great.
Expansion. It pays off, literally.
Okay, we've covered the personality, the outer life, the challenges. Section 4 takes us deeper now into the soul blueprint itself. We need to look at the Navamsa D9 chart and the Amakarka. Can you first explain to the listener why the D9 chart is so important in Vedic astrology? What does it represent?
Sure. The D9 or Navamsa chart is often called the soul blueprint. It doesn't describe the physical reality so much. That's the main Rasi chart, the D1 we've been discussing. Instead, the D9 reveals the inner lay, the potential for fulfillment, the quality of relationships, especially marriage. It shows the inherent strengths and weaknesses of the planets on an inner spiritual level. It's the chart of the soul's promise.
So what does the Navamsa reveal about the soul's inner wiring for OTW?
Well, the D9 ascendant is Gemini. This is fascinating. While the outer world sees the Aquarian reformer, the soul's inner engine thrives on communication, learning, intellectual curiosity, constant exchange. To feel internally vibrant, alive, OTW needs to constantly learn, process information, adapt mentally. The soul is a communicator.
And the
It's funny that it said that because you see, after there was nobody else on panel and I had no more material to present, I ended the live.
Right.
Because I continuously need to be stimulated, to be in the conversation. If you don't say anything interesting to me, you won't get me conversing with you. You won't.
Yeah.
I'll sit there and stay silent and let you guys. Well, not you guys, but the other people that I have up on panel, like certain individuals that I had on today, which I already mentioned the date, which was the 15th of October. Yeah. So I had these individuals on panel. And seemingly, we weren't able to establish an arena of communication where we could actually go over the material that I presented, but instead we're both too involved in their own ego, and clouded by their own judgment. They weren't able to see through that and just try to flow with the content and make it productive. But hey, I guess now I have the opportunity to do it with you, so I actually much more appreciate that because now there are absolutely no distractions and the focus is much more generated on the topic at hand, and that makes me happy and permits me to actually have a conversation because I am stimulated now because I'm actually with somebody who has intellect, right? Who has a head on his shoulders. And when it comes to that, then it's like when I'm in the presence of a fellow musician, but I think, let's say, from where I'm at, I look at that musician, he's playing, and I think he's fucking amazing, right? Mm-hmm. So if that happens to me at the level of musician that I'm at, I'm gonna want to step up my game, right, to be able to play with the guy. Because if that guy is like, oh, well, wait a minute, now I have to, I have to bring it all out. I can't just hold back. It's like I gotta do it all now. So that literally makes me upgrade. When I'm with better musicians.
Right. Because it's literally hitting you're pulling out your soul. Because she's saying that the Gemini is that Gemini vibe of wanting novelty, new information, interesting information, it's literally at your core, your soul. You can't get any deeper than that. Soul brother with the Gemini, and that's communication. That's why you can take a live and react to it and watch it. Now it makes sense. OTW, you can watch somebody else's live, and you're getting knowledge from it because there's context that you can make content out of, that you can learn about for example, psychology in terms of how the people are interacting. It's like nothing's lost with Gemini, and that's not your soul.
So everything is good.
Everything,
Wow. Well, in other words, everything is reusable, or you can repackage and turn it into something. Everything is a form of art that you can reuse.
Yes.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Nothing wasted.
And that's true because I'm a type of personality when it comes to material things. I do not let things go to waste. If I think I can either fix it or reuse a particular item further down the line when I might need it for fixing something else, maybe, then, I'm kind of like a pack rat when it comes to that, right? I'll hold on to useless things that you don't even know that you would probably throw away. But funny enough, I'll hold on to that particular thing, and 3 years down the line, boom, I need it. I'm using it. It's gonna serve for something. That's how weird I am when it comes to that. And I'm actually like the type of guy who tries to eliminate. I purge shit all the time. I'm always trying to get rid of stuff and cleaning out whatever excess stuff that I don't use. But there are particular things that I fall upon. It's like, nope, don't touch that. That still has its use somewhere down the line. I know. It's like it's an instinct.
Yeah, and it does get used. It sounds like it's not just going to stay there and collect
No,
dust.
it gets used. Yes, absolutely.
OTW needs to constantly learn, process information, adapt mentally. The soul is a communicator.
And the D9 moon, where does that fall?
The D9 moon is in Sagittarius. This placement reinforces the need for emotional wisdom rooted in faith and expansive universal ideals.
Dude, Sagittarius is my daughter, man.
Right. And those are the philosophers, forever, I would say forever, like that golden age, the years of like when you're just becoming an adult, like when you're adolescent, teenager thinking. This is why like teenagers are so smart. However, they still have that childlike way about them in a good way. So it's like, it's interesting. Yeah, that's the opposite of the Gemini, Sagittarius, and where Gemini likes the novelty. The quick tidbits of information, new information, zoomed in. Sagittarius, the opposite, likes the zoomed out, like big picture stuff. But they go hand in hand.
So they make a mountain out of a grain of salt.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, God, does that ever make sense, man? That's good. Oh, boy.
Machine Lies is a sun sign. Sagittarius flow state is. Resto Chesto. Yeah. Hank is, too.
Really? Hank?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
So maybe that's why we have this particular attraction.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I don't like flow state, but for some reason I have this somewhere we resonate somewhere. I don't know where it is.
It's when you look at the big picture. Because think about it. That's what they say. Opposites attract, and somewhat. It's because they're on opposite extreme ends. However, they're on the same line. Different expressions of it, of the same energy.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like love and hate aren't. They're the same energy expressed in two different variations.
Exactly.
Role of the wise mentor or philosopher. So while the main chart's moon seeks balance in Libra, the D9 moon demands depth of belief, like Sagittarius. And we also see powerful thematic reinforcement in the D9. Venus is in Aquarius again, and Saturn is in Leo again. This is like the universe confirming the main chart's key tensions and themes, reinforcing the need for freedom, friendship, and maybe unconventional structure and love, that's Aquarius Venus, combined with loyal, responsible leadership, that's Leo Saturn. The core themes repeat on the soul level.
Okay, let's talk about the ultimate spiritual guide for this life then.
Yeah.
The Atmakarika, which is Saturn. What exactly is the AK, and why is Saturn being the highest degree planet so significant here?
Right, the Atmakarika, or AK, is the planet with the highest degree in the birth chart. It defines the soul's deepest spiritual desire, the core lesson the soul is fundamentally here to master in this lifetime.
And it's funny they say that because I've had another reading at one point, Gabe, and I was told that Metatron was my archangel or my angel when it comes to angels.
Yeah, he's the very high up in the hierarchy, right?
He's the top
Second to
dog.
God.
Yeah, he's in other words, he's actually Enoch.
Right. Yeah. He evolved into that.
Yeah.
Right, into that higher state. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. You know what?
That's wild.
This week too, you've been definitely stepping up your leadership, the way you've been handling your channel. As because we are our leaders, huh? We're the host of our channel, and I've been seeing you do a good job of that, man. Taking notes.
Yeah, well, eventually you have to exercise your sovereignty, and you have to have people understand that when you're here. At this particular moment in time, when it comes to the YouTube timeline that I'll be around, it's a privilege, It
is,
and I'm starting to kind of like lean into that. right? Where I haven't, where I thought it was I that was privileged, But I'm privileged because I'm watched. That's where I get my privilege, right? But the
Right.
people that come and participate into the broadcast and what I offer the people, those individuals are privileged by me and then the audience, right? I
Right.
think. Anyway, I might be mistaken in my logic, but that's pretty much I think how I see it.
No, I see that, man.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not like I've seen it always like that, but I'm starting to perceive it more and more as that, and it actually is creating a sort of a stability inside of me where no, wait a minute, I am the Almighty in my realm, and I'm going to exercise what I need to do to keep focus on what my actual journey really is out here. Right. And not have it was because I've been distracted for so long. Right.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to realize that, I need to get out of my distractions and focus more on what my ultimate goal and purpose was to be on YouTube in the first place. Right.
Yeah. That you're teaching, and the more you do that, the more the everything else will balance out and evolve to where it should be, where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're getting
So-
glimpses now, huh?
So that means I need to focus more on, my interpretations of the Bible and
Yes,
keep
sir.
calling out, Christianity and what I've been doing for forever now, because that's been my main focus, because that's what triggers me the most.
Yeah.
That's where I'm like all of these false prophets and falsely indoctrinating the people to believe in false gods and false idols when all the truth is actually all inside of you, literally, right?
Yes.
It's literally inside of you, physically as an organ. It's like, it's way beyond. And that's why they keep telling you, know thyself. Know thyself means even know your biology. Your brain, every nerve, what it does, what it's for. It's like learn about yourself. Learn about your human body, everything about it, every single aspect of it, every single organ, every single function.
This is it to ATW, because this is like our favorite broadcast. We use Shadow, Buddha, the Out of This World broadcast. When you're sharing these things, these metaphysical, esoteric things, or peeling back the veil of the Matrix, this is like you've been doing it since the beginning, because we've been watching your archives, right? However, now you have even your audience is growing even more, so it's going to hit even harder when you keep going this route.
Yeah, and I think that's the direction I need to take, and I'm going to use Manly P. Hall, I believe, as one of my main references. I'm going to, in other words, do like
Can't
any
lose with
philosopher would do and build off of somebody else's breakdown or
Right.
like pretty much what TML was explaining is like pretty much every philosopher built their philosophy off of someone else's philosophy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And hence it builded and constructed from there.
Yeah, because they're not alive anymore, like more or less, right? And they're great and all. However, you're taking it to greater levels, because you're here now using your unique brain mind makeup and astrology makeup, natal chart makeup to interpret their information, and you take it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? It's like if I wanted to find out, like, okay, you say 10 years from now, if I wanted to find out more about LTW, I would study Manly P. Hall, right? It's like D'Angelo. If you wanted to find out about him, you study Prince, because that was his mentor. That's who he looked up to. So
Right, exactly. So if I use him as one of my base references, and then find other great minds like that who had like a similar perspective, then I can also correlate to those particular beings and actually come up with a solid expose, right?
Right. That structure, that Saturn structure. So you're taking, usually Pisces is kind of like, because it's so mystical and like God mode, that it's kind of like they can be seen as the hippie dippy fairy sometimes. However, when you put that spiritual God mode in the structure of Saturn, the box that Saturn makes, a cube, you can really start having people understand these concepts that usually you can only point at.
Right. So, but if I can make the profound connections where they're actually relevant and not
Yes, that's
like
it.
Yeah, so not some sort of thing that, I grabbed out of the air and then I just
you bring them down to earth.
Right. I need to make it down to earth because if it's not down to earth, how are people going to connect to it? Right.
Exactly.
They're going to think it's another fairy tale.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't want that because it's just not the, I guess I'm not the guru type, right? I'm not the guy who's going to have you believe in some sort of magic. I want to bring it down to earth and correlate it to something tangible, which is your human biology, and then take it from there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like now that we've established that that's the thing and that's what it's saying, what are we meant to do with it now? That's the other question, right? Now, what do we do with it? And now that we have the knowledge, now that we know all of this is based on our biology, and probably it's also connected to astrology, as I can see, then I think the thing is to put it all together. It's like the pieces of the puzzle is actually, it's all coming together.
Yes.
In my mind, anyway.
Yeah, it becomes integrated studies. That's what I've been working on. Integrating all these modalities and fields of knowledge and practices into something that actually is pragmatic, that we can actually do to help be better humans, and
You're absolutely right.
Just be happy.
Yeah, and I do believe the elites have this knowledge. Right?
Oh yeah.
And and they're not sharing it, but I'm going to be sharing it. So maybe that's going to be something that's going to be pretty powerful in the years to come. Probably, hopefully.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. All right, carry on. This is great, Gabe. We're doing good.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, OTW is on a spiritual apprenticeship focused on mastering patience, structure, humility, endurance, and responsibility. Their spiritual success is linked directly to their ability to shoulder burdens, practice integrity, and lead through service rather than ego. Saturn AK is a profound mandate to build something lasting, something tangible from their spiritual efforts.
And where does this spiritual path express itself outwardly? How does it manifest?
That is shown by the Kartakashalanya. This is the sign where the AK planet, Saturn, falls in the Navamsa chart. For OTW, the Kartakashalanya is Leo. Leo represents the radiant path. So the spiritual success for OTW is expressed through leadership, courage, creativity, compassion. However, and this is key, the path requires they use Saturn's lessons, discipline, humility, structure, to temper the potential ego of Leo. The mission is to transform personal struggle into universal wisdom and to lead with the heart responsibly. The spiritual achievement is inherently public and needs structure.
So the message is really clear. The soul must learn structure, discipline, patience before it can truly express its innate radiance without distortion.
Absolutely. The wisdom gained through Saturn's patient, hard work is precisely what allows the Leo heart to shine authentically without becoming arrogant or brittle. The structure supports the radiance.
Okay, let's move into section 5.
Wait, okay.
Lifetime.
That's really good right there.
That
when I
was dope.
see it, that's dope. Like Leo, think of Leo as the rock star of the signs, right? They're all eyes on me type of stuff, right?
Right.
And that is great. However, sometimes when you're expressing yourself like that rock star mode, somebody your ego might get in the way, meaning you're just thinking about how you look instead of just being there. So in order for people can get joy off of you or learn something, right? And I think what will help with that is the Saturn. You have Saturn and Leo. I have that too. It takes the rock star and puts them in a nice structured arena, like an arena where you can be kind of wild. However, it's contained because you know your limits and you know your boundaries.
Right. There are places I won't go. I have lines, right? You're right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, other people might get arrogant with it under an unbalanced Leo energy. You can refine it into something beautiful.
Oh, thank you. That's great.
Well,
I mean, it's like coming from the astrological perspective, obviously.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool.
Let's move into section 5. Life, timeline, and destiny phases, the Dasha analysis. This is where we really see the story unfold chronologically and where the current moment and future potential is situated. The Dasha system, it's essentially the precise timing of when different planetary influences dominate life, isn't it?
Correct. The life progresses logically through these planetary rulers, or dashas, setting up necessary foundational experiences along the way. OTW was actually born into the Saturn dasha, 1977-1996. 19 years of Saturn right at the start. This was a critical period of likely early challenges and foundational responsibility. For a newly forming Aquarian personality, Saturn provided that mandatory grounding and discipline. It ensured the native learned the necessity of effort very early on.
Made them grow up fast, perhaps.
Quite possibly,
Let me
yes.
tell you this real
It
quick.
sets a serious tone.
Yeah.
What follows?
This Saturn placement makes sense with a little I heard about your upbringing. A lot of times, Saturn, which the planet of Capricorn is Saturn, so you can see this in Capricorns too. But Saturn, a lot of times, people who have a heavy placement, they grow up fast, not necessarily because they want to, but out of necessity. Sometimes we grow up where, even though we're the kid, we have to take responsibility because our people that are supposed to be guiding us aren't really. So what happens is
I
you learn
noticed
how to
that
take
very young. Yes.
right. So you take on responsibility at an early age, and what happens when you do that is you may not get to play as much as your peers, but you're taking on big responsibility. So as you get older, you're going to get success faster than normally you would. So that what happens is because you did good and learned the hard lessons of life early and knew about how responsibility is a superpower and discipline, you got success early. So that means you're kind of set yourself up. So even though you didn't get to enjoy your childhood so much and play and stuff, the older you get, because you already have success and wealth and whatnot, you get to have fun as you get older. It's almost like you're getting younger as you get older, type of shit.
Right,
Yeah.
because that was my ultimate mission in life. Is I didn't want to retire at the end of my life. I actually wanted to retire at the beginning of my life.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right. You enjoy it, right? To the
Yeah.
fullest.
Because I thought it was foolish to work all your life to finish by retiring to profit off of everything you worked for in your life, but then you die.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
Bittersweet, man.
irony,
Bittersweet
right?
symphony. Yeah.
So it's like I won't go with that one. It's not going to be my life goal. No way. I'm not going to follow the rest of the masses.
No.
No way.
Yeah.
And I've been that way all my
chart.
life. Yeah,
I
it's
don't
like
think-
it's ingrained in my personality. It's like
Yeah.
I've never wanted to be like everybody else.
Yeah. And that's what your personality is. I call astrology your personality a map. That's what I think it all is. Your personality on default, you know?
Yeah, that's a great correlation there. Yeah, it's perfect. All right, so let's continue on. This is hey, we're in 1 hour and 16 minutes. This is a good a good deep dive.
This is
2013. And Mercury, remember, sits powerfully in the first house in Aquarius. This was a major phase, 17 years of intellectual growth, networking, communication expansion, maybe academic or technical mastery. This period activated their visionary thinking and built the intellectual framework they now rely upon.
Okay. And the immediate phase before the current one. These often feel like periods of dissolution or spiritual pruning, right? The Ketu Dasha, 2013-2020.
Yes, that 7-year period was crucial. Ketu rules detachment, spirituality, dissolution, letting go. With Ketu in the second house, which rules values, wealth, resources, this was a necessary phase of spiritual withdrawal, maybe an identity shift, letting go of material expectations or attachment.
That's crazy, dude. 2017 was my spiritual awakening.
Oh, wow. That's
Isn't that crazy? It's
Yeah.
lining it up perfectly, man. That's wild.
Maybe an identity shift, letting go of material expectations or attachments. It was designed to reinforce that innate spiritual detachment we talked about and prepare the ground for the much more expressive, highly relational period that followed. It often feels like the world kind of dissolves old expectations, allowing the core spiritual truth to emerge more clearly.
Which brings us right up to the present and the long haul future.
Holy shit.
The Venus Mahadasha, 2020-2040. That's 20 years of Venus, placed powerfully in the first house in Aquarius.
This is undoubtedly one of the most significant periods of OTW's entire life.
Wow. Holy shit. Right. That's wild. So I'm already in 5 years. So there's another 15 years of Venus. Woohoo.
Venus is great, man. It's the planet of beauty and arts. It's really good. The arts, I think that's the way to teach. I love that modality of teaching through the arts.
It's funny because all of my music that I do with AI, it's all truther music.
Yeah, it's fused in your thinking because you have Mercury, the planet of thinking, communicating with Venus, the planet of art and art expression.
Yeah. So I essentially,
Or beauty, huh?
yeah, I typed out every single conspiracy theory that I can think of, and I made a song out of it.
That's dope.
Yeah.
It's unlocking the minds.
Yeah, I might be making albums, at one point, and putting them on a site that people can go and download the album and shit.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And, Marathon Kev was telling us about how those songs you make, you can do something to it where you get like copyrighted. I forgot what it's called. So
Yeah,
that means that anytime it's used,
I'm gonna have to ask him again. I completely
yeah,
forgot what that was,
yeah.
and I never actually took time. I had the link, and I can't even remember if I put it in my bookmarks or not. Anyway,
Yeah, because you already have enough songs for probably a couple albums, at least one I know. But
oh,
like
I
12
have enough
songs.
for like three
Yeah.
or four albums.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, like let's say like 12 to 15 songs each album. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I have at
That's
least
fun because
60
not only the
songs.
music, but then you get to make the cover art. That's cool too.
Right.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. And I have to find a place where they're going to produce the actual CD if people are going to want to have the
Oh,
actual
yeah.
album, right?
That makes it real alchemy, a physical
Yeah.
copy.
Yeah, of course. It makes something real. You have it in your hands. It's real. It's not some sort of digital thing.
Hmm.
All right. So even if you don't have a CD player, it doesn't matter. You'll have the little booklet and everything. It's just going to be cool. I'll
Super
probably
cool.
sign them personally. Yeah. Well, not sign them. I'll put my autograph on it.
Yeah.
I don't want to use these weird indoctrinated terms that we've been fed.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to
Good
go back to
catch.
the clip. Yeah, before we get off topic.
Venus governs love, harmony, charisma, creative expression, beauty. Because Venus is right there in the first house, the house of self. This is a 20-year period focused on magnetic attraction, self-expression, and the fulfillment of creative and relational desires. The visionary persona, which was built up during Mercury Dasha and then refined, perhaps purified, during Ketu, is now actively attracting abundance and meaningful partnerships. This is absolutely their time to shine and utilize that first house magnetism.
Now, given the complexity we discussed with Saturn in the 7th house relationships, is there a specific window within this long Venus Dasha that's identified for peak relationship fulfillment?
Yes, absolutely. Based on the Navamsa analysis and the overall dynamics of the chart, the period from roughly 2026 to 2033 within this Venus Dasha is highly highlighted. We could call it the soulmate activation period. This looks like the primary window for deep relationship fulfillment and establishing that mature, lasting partnership structure that Saturn demands. The Aquarian love of freedom has to find a way to merge with Saturnian commitment during this time.
Okay, that's significant. Now let's talk practical
Heads up,
action,
that's a
maybe
heads up.
career
We're
or
on the
business
corner, right?
success.
Yeah, that's kind of like telling me, hey, dude, next year.
Yeah. And that could also mean
wild.
too. Also too, especially with your current life partner, like even reestablishing the commitment with them. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily mean finding someone new, like per se, but it also could mean also too your team too. So it's really
Right,
cool.
Right. No, I see that. I definitely see that. That could happen. It's a possibility that all my efforts aren't in vain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. That's. I like that. It's kind of giving you a little peek into the future.
Hmm.
That's nice.
It's probably already happening. Like you were seeing emanations of it, like now. That's usually what happens. Before it actually officially hits, you'll see like previews of it, like just like that. Yeah, you'll see it more and more.
Interesting. Yeah, like little hints to,
Hmm.
like kind of
Yeah.
like hints saying, "Hey, that's coming next."
It's coming. Yeah,
I like that. All right. Hey, dude, I'm having a freaking great day.
yeah, it's good.
Practical action, maybe career or business acceleration. What's the destiny acceleration window that they should be intensely focused on right now or in the coming years?
The current window, running approximately between 2024 and 2036, is identified as the active career phase. This is really the golden era for visibility, expression, communication, branding, leadership growth. This period, which leverages Jupiter's communication gifts, Venus's magnetism, and Saturn's structural drive, is pretty much non-negotiable for establishing their long-term public influence and setting the stage for the next major life phase.
Literally explaining the reason why I'm on YouTube right there.
Right, all those things. When did they say OTW? What time was that particular? Activated?
Between 2024 and 2036.
Okay.
So that's where I have to establish,
That's very
my I guess political and artistic career or whatever it is that's like I see it. I understand. I see it. This is like it really explains why I'm out here.
Yeah.
It's to help that particular part of my journey grow,
Yeah.
So it's like hey guys, I might be here till 2036.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Me too, man.
Who knows?
Still got work to do.
Who knows what the future holds?
That lasting legacy that Saturn and Leo seem to demand, they absolutely must prioritize strategic public action during this window and what follows this long Venus dasha.
The next
That's it. YouTube is a public arena.
Yeah.
I'm doing that. It's like,
Right.
wow. Dude, man, I'm overexcited.
And I think that's good. That's exactly what I was about to say, bro. Because I was going to say your Jupiter is Venus. And remember what I said, like whatever Jupiter, it's for expansion, expanding our consciousness, and it also is what comes easy to us naturally. And yours is in Aries, so you're going to be expanding your consciousness with things that come easy to you, like Aries. And when I think of Aries, I think of how you're adventurous, right? You're assertive and bold, and ambitious too. And the cool thing about it is being energetic is like, for the most part, you always have pretty much high energy. Now, like you said earlier, sometimes when the topic's kind of like, it's not hitting your soul, right? It's not very novel. Maybe you like get a little lethargic or whatever. But for the most part, I've noticed you do have a great energy about you in the broadcast. And I think the more you keep with that and keep, even though it comes easy for you to be like that, don't totally not nourish it.
Right.
Sometimes we take things for granted that we're good at.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So I got to take care of it. Make sure I'm not overusing it or overplaying it.
Right.
Yeah, that's good advice, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
I like that.
6 years. Now, the sun rules the 7th house, partnerships, public dealings, and is powerfully placed in the spiritual 2nd house. This 6-year period signals a kind of culmination of public leadership and recognition. It's the time when the structures built during the Venus phase yield clear, authoritative results. It represents the arc toward mature authority and societal influence, powered by that deep Piscean wisdom.
Okay, we've analyzed the architecture, understood the soul work, timed the destiny. Now let's translate the synthesis into that clear career archetype you mentioned, the visionary teacher.
Yes, that feels like the right fit. It pulls together the Jupiter teaching energy, the Aquarian need for reform, and the Saturnian structure.
So what is the core function of this archetype for OTW?
Their function is essentially to be the bridge between deep reason and spiritual insight. They are the awakener of truth, but through structure and practical application. The foundation of their work seamlessly blends Saturn's need for lasting ethical structure with Leo's radiant leadership qualities and Jupiter's expansive wisdom.
Given this synthesis, which specific professional fields seem to align best with these powerful placements? Where can they thrive?
The data points quite clearly toward fields that require innovation, structure, and deep compassion. Because of the Aquarius ascendant and Saturn's influence, they could excel in systemic reform, large-scale community building, maybe even law or policy. The Sun Ketu in Pisces suggests spiritual guidance, counseling, therapy, or artistic pursuits that really touch the soul. The Moon in Libra points toward mediation, philosophy, ethical leadership roles, and that Jupiter Aries in the 3rd practically guarantees success in teaching, motivating, writing, publishing, media. So practical fields could include structured education, designing curricula, leading institutions, spiritual guidance and mentorship programs.
Media and publishing. There you go. That's my... right there.
Spiritual guidance and mentorship programs, media.
Probably that too. Spiritual guidance when it comes to, translating the scriptures. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That. And publishing, especially future-focused. Leadership in nonprofits or reform movements. And any creative arts that require a strong, structured message. They are destined to be a truth-based influencer and a responsible, ethical leader.
Okay. Let's quickly revisit the relationship pattern. We know Saturn in the 7th demands maturity, but how does OTW likely approach love and partnership?
Relationships absolutely require commitment, high ethical standards, and crucially, authenticity. Superficial won't work. Love is sought through shared ideals, maybe intense philosophical exploration. That's the Moon in the 9th house. Critically, the Venus in the 1st house in Aquarius mandates that any partner must honor their strong need for personal freedom, intellectual compatibility, maybe even a bit of unconventionality. The challenge is finding a partner mature enough to commit to Saturn's structure while respecting that Aquarian independence. The relationship has to be built on a foundation of shared purpose and mutual respect, not just emotion or convenience.
Right. And finally, the spiritual growth path. What does the path to liberation, to moksha, look like for them?
The path of liberation is heavily influenced by those Pisces placements, the Sun in K2. It involves letting go of the need for ego control and rigid material output.
Pisces.
Oh, yeah, that's right there?
Yeah. At your
Oh,
core. Yeah. Don't lose sight of that.
No, I won't. Believe you me.
The intense
you-
transformational work directed by Rahu in the 8th house, mastering hidden dynamics, psychological depths, is ultimately meant to facilitate this spiritual merging. It helps break down ego structures, leading to true, liberated detachment, even while functioning effectively in the world.
Okay, so we've covered the entire technical blueprint. What are the key practical wisdom points, the actionable themes for fulfilling this complex dharma?
Right. The soul work themes translate into concrete actions. OTW is essentially meant to speak profound truth with innate compassion, that's the Revati sun. Build ethical, lasting systems that uplift and reform others, that's the Saturn AK combined with the Aquarius Lanya. Lead through genuine example and authenticity that comes from Leo Saturn and the Leo Karakamsha. And, critically, balance necessary solitude, that Rahu 8th house pull towards depth, with public service, using their profound creativity as a spiritual practice itself. This is the blueprint for creating a legacy that truly endures. You know, if we had to distill this entire complex chart into one single focused sentence, it might be something like this. I'm here to turn abstract wisdom into enduring structure, channel my quest for freedom into structured focus, and leverage my truth to create lasting reform. My structured effort ensures my voice awakens others, and my work builds what will outlast me.
Wow, that's a phenomenal translation of so much complexity into absolute clarity.
Oh,
Powerful. Before we wrap up then, what are maybe the 3 most actionable insights for you, the listener, based specifically on this personalized blueprint?
Okay, 3 key takeaways. First, acknowledge and embrace the strong, undeniable push toward teaching and guidance roles. That Jupiter in the 3rd house makes authentic communication their strongest, most expansive tool. Use it. Second, focus efforts intensely and strategically during this current active career phase, roughly 2024-2036. This is the maximum leverage window for visibility, branding, and establishing the public structures needed for long-term influence. Don't waste this time. Third, fully embrace the Saturn AK lesson. Patience in building lasting structures. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Rushing the process will undermine the ultimate longevity of their vision, especially in leadership roles. The discipline is the destiny. Build it right.
That provides
So
really clear...
Pause real quick. She said that for the career stuff, like 2024 to 2026. That's what she said, right?
2036, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So definitely build. It's good. You're on the right point. Building the structure for it right now. Your multimedia teaching platform, like this is where it gets done. And I like what she said about don't sacrifice my words. Don't sacrifice for just slow it down. That's it. Like make sure the structure's there, right? Yeah.
Don't try to jump to jump the process or
Right.
don't get ahead of yourself. Just follow the process. Go slowly and take it slow and just build off of everything that you're learning. And I think it'll just all come together naturally, right?
Right.
As long as I stay focused. I think that's the thing. It's my focus that needs to be, my attention and my focus needs to be directed towards the main goal, right?
Yeah. Locked in, man.
Locked in, totally, yeah.
Locked in.
Yeah. Well, lately I could say 2025 is one of those years, man. This is pretty much one of my locked in years,
Yeah, it was the year of the snake. We were both born in 1977. We're fire snakes, and that is conducive to someone that strategizes. And with the fire, literally, we spring into action. When needed.
Yeah, you're right. And only when needed.
Only when needed. You're right.
Yeah, because there's a lot that I don't spring into because it doesn't involve me or anything that I believe in.
Right.
So,
this is why when you hear people say, "Oh, this person's snakish and snake," they give the snake. It is year of the snake. It's just not in the way they're saying it.
yeah, exactly.
That's in a positive way.
Yeah, the snake represents wisdom.
Wisdom,
in
man.
many forms. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Rushing the process will undermine the ultimate longevity of their vision, especially in leadership roles. The discipline is the destiny. Build it right.
That provides really clear directional guidance for the next decade and beyond. Invaluable.
And thinking about it all, this raises the final and maybe the most important integration question for OTW, connecting the chart's powerful core tension. How can that deep fascination with hidden knowledge and transformation Rahu in the 8th, be skillfully utilized to build the enduring, visible, public structures, Saturn in the 7th, aspecting the 10th, without sacrificing the innate spiritual freedom and detachment from the Aquarius, Lagna, and Pisces influences. How does the visionary teacher ensure their message is both profound, genuinely sourced from the depths, and yet tangible and practical enough to enact the necessary structural reform they are clearly destined to deliver to the world? That integration of the hidden and the public, the mystical and the material, the free spirit and the responsible builder, that's the lifelong task, the masterwork.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we have
Oh, that's it. It's over.
That was dope, man. Oh, man. Taking those abstract, tangible, spiritual, metaphysical truths and bringing them onto the concrete earth plane.
Yeah.
Doing that's
That's
part
my
of the
biggest
big purpose.
challenge. It's a lifelong endeavor. You see that? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is absolutely wild.
Yeah.
So that's why, and I really need to start off. My starting point needs to be Manly B. Hall.
Yes, that's a good start.
Yeah.
And I have to say with him, like, 'cause he's one of my favorite teachers, master teachers. I'll just say this. However, though, sometimes I would get lost in the ethereal nature of it because it's so high powered and spiritual, and that, like, when I was younger, I don't think I had the power yet to be able to take those concepts and make them practical in my life. I was just mesmerized. I was giving into the awe of how cool it was instead of trying to bring him down. And I think it's good for you because that Bible in the body, it's going to be the anchor, for example, to take those things, to keep you honest here on the ground while you look up. Yeah.
That's why I keep having like these interactions with people who are down to earth, right? So that keeps my core grounded and my 2 feet on the ground, because I do tend to go off into my imagination, right? That happens.
Right.
So I do need something to anchor me back into reality, so I don't lose my mind.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'll say this one thing that I think it would be great to run this back at some time if you want to do shadow work to really clean your psyche up, and have the same prompt, except say, like, what are the negatives of having a chart like this, or blind spots. Because sometimes, like,
what's the shadow work that needs to be done, or something like that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's a nice way of saying the stuff that I need to work on, right? Because a lot of times, like, it could just be the positive stuff, which is great, very, very important, gets us motivated, but it's also good to have the other side too, to be honest and keep us from super pristine in our work.
Yeah, I guess that's a good idea, to keep a balance. But I have to admit, what I've heard today is very encouraging.
Oh yeah, you gotta have that.
That really puts a fire under your ass, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
For me, anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For me too, man. I'm learning from this too, because in the end, I think we're kind of like the same. Like, everyone's the same here on Earth. It's just that it's experiencing it different ways. So I can learn. I'm learning from this myself.
Yeah. Well, if ever you want AI to break you down, you just ask me, and I'll do the same for you, man.
I absolutely do. I was about to give you my stuff. I don't know if I should put it here or in the
Well,
the
do it
DM.
in private now. I can do it right now, man.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I can have that breaking down and sent to you through Telegram, and then you could use it on your show.
Yeah, I would love it. I would love to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's my pleasure. I'd love to do that for you.
Yeah. So I'll put this in the private, and you can look it over and get back at me. Let me see. Yeah, this has been great. So what do you think?
What do you mean? What do I think?
About the whole thing in general? Like, again, yeah.
Oh, I'm
About this whole
completely
process.
blown away. I mean, also when it had like the hints into the future and stuff, and how it's like it really is like breaking it down like all the way to 2046, Gabriel. It's wild, man.
It's
That's
very wild. Yeah. Damn.
Doesn't say anything beyond that. I'm wondering if is 2046 the end of the line?
No. Well, it is that cycle of you, I think, because think about it. If you went that far, like, you wouldn't even be able to fathom it, because I think you have to get to that level first. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Before you can get there. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have enough on our plate right now with all that high-powered wisdom you just got.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. There's my stuff in the back. So whenever you have a chance, like, yeah, man, send it to me. I'm so curious about that. Yeah.
Okay,
Wait, I did the wrong time. Yeah. Hold on. 4:30. Yeah.
all right, dude. I'm gonna let you go.
All right, brother. You have a good night, man. Good
Yeah.
day.
Yes, same to you. Have a good rest.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Talk to you later.
Yeah. Take care. All right. This is OTW signing out for today, coming at you from the belly of the beast.